whiskey friends, far and wide. We are live. What's up, y'all? Happy tasty Tuesday. I'm Eric, your humble malt user, beaming the whiskey tube signal from the slightly snowy city of Chicago, Illinois, my home turf. We have a fun show set up for tonight. I'm enjoying myself a little bit. The Glenmorangie Tale of the Forest, which we uncorked, I believe, 2 weeks ago here on the live show. As always, smash that like button. Let's get things going. Drop your name in the chat. Say hello. Love to hear where you're coming from as well. If you want to drop your city or your area code, let's do this. All right. This is, as you likely saw on the banner for the show, this is going to be the last Tasty Tuesday of 2022. We will get into that, what that means and what it doesn't mean shortly. But first, as we always do here on the live stream, we're going to say hello to everybody that's pointed up to that virtual bar. And it looks like we got a crew in already, some of our favorite people. Let's run down the roster. Who we got in first in the door tonight? It's our boy out in the desert, Arizona Leo, unopened bottle that I'll open tonight for the live. Great, man. Cheers from Chicago to Phoenix. Hey. James Chang out there in LA. How are things in California, brother? Good to see you, man. Yes. I have an event I'm attending tonight, but wanted to say salon to Eric in the moment. Hey, man, cheers. Back at you. Mr. French is here, coming in from Duluth, Minnesota. Mr. Gerbic. Mr. going on here. Joining us from Jupiter, Florida. Eager for whiskey time, especially the Larceny. Awesome. Keen Dreams is in the house from Buffalo. How are you, sir? Good to see you. Somewhere on the border, the borderlands of Louisiana and Tejas, Texas, it is our good friend Daniel H., the man with the wrench. What's up, brother? Cheers to you. Maryland's in the house. Mike B., how's it going, buddy? Nice to see you. Quad Cities is here. It's Chris, just on the other side of the state of Illinois from me. Good to see you, Chris. Stunner Pass, Central California. Got sedated for, oh boy, 4 more hours he's got to wait. Woo. Rough, man. Hope that went okay. Alpha Crown's here. What's going on? Nice to see you. Loch Ness, what's up? Nice to see you as well. New York City's in the house. Jack the Pickle Down. How you doing, buddy? How are things out in New York? You getting that any snow up there your way yet? We just got a little bit here in Chicago. Just whiskey. Raise a gram to you. London's here. What's up, Mr. Morgan over there across the pond in London? How are you, sir? The roster. Ontario. Yes. Snow on the way tonight. Our boy up in Canada. I'm sure we'll see Mr. White in the house sometime soon as well. He's over there Ontario way. Los Angeles. Our other buddy out there in Cali. It's Cohen. What's up, man? Good to see you. Snowing the last 2 weeks over there for Donner Pass. Ben, Romick, the Caragold. Oh, really? Okay, so I have seen that one, and I didn't pick it up. I was really curious. It's part of the Contrast series with the peat, or is it just an organic release or something like that? Man, it looked good. Like thick grain. Yeah, sub 40s in Texas. Wow. After that rough summer you had, man, you're starting to be like the Midwest. The weather is just changing rapidly around you. I suppose it is for everybody these days. There's Mr. White, Ontario. There in Canada. What's up, buddy? All right, Shaw. We got 14 in, man. Great to see everybody. Okay, so let me set this show up for you. First of all, tonight, as I mentioned, this is going to be the last Tasty Tuesday stream. And the reasoning behind that is a couple things. So I want to make sure I share all of this with you. First and foremost, holiday season's coming up. And I just got a lot of stuff going on, and Tuesdays are getting increasingly more difficult. I've had to miss a couple over the last few months, and that's going to be increasing. So, secondly, I think I just need kind of a little break. We've been going at this strong for I think over 2 years now for the live stream, and 4 years for the channel. And I don't really think I've taken any serious breaks, and so I just need a little bit of time off. So I'm going to take advantage of the holiday season and do that and work on a couple other things I got lined up here in my non-whiskey reviewing whiskey stream life. So I'm going to be taking care of some of those things. And I'm also just going to spend a little time kind of thinking about what's next for the channel and how I want to proceed forward. The only thing constant in life is change. And I've been thinking about, some things I might want to do here with the channel, maybe switching up the way we do live streams, doing reviews at different times. I'm just not quite sure yet, and I want to spend some time on it. So got some things on my plate. Here's what it also means. This will not be the last live stream of 2022. This will be the last Tasty Tuesday live stream. But I guarantee I have one for sure that I'm going to do. I have a blind tasting sampler set sent to me from a place called Blind Barrels. I'm going to do that as a live stream, so we'll check that out. I'll probably have another random one sometime between now and Christmas, so keep your eyes on the channel for that. As for the reviews, I'm also going to be taking the time off that, so you will be getting one more review though, and that is going to be the top whiskeys that I had here in 2022. I'm going to drop that sometime in the next 2 weeks. So keep your eyes out for that one. And finally, Patreon supporters, would love for you to stick around if you can. I will have another Patreon-only review before the year closes. And we might even have a Patreon raffle, as I've mentioned in the last couple of weeks. I'm going to figure out how I want to coordinate that. So keep an eye on that. I will make sure to message y'all in your Patreon inboxes to let you know what's up. And sometime in 2023, I'll definitely do another show and kind of like lay out what I'm thinking and see how it goes from there. But just wanted to make sure, got that out to all of y'all. You guys have been super cool, great supporters of the show. Honestly, it's been a lot of fun doing this every Tuesday, but we all need a break every once in a while, and this seems to be the time I'm going to do it. So that's the status of the channel, the status of the videos, the status of the reviews, all of that. What it doesn't mean is that I'm going to disappear forever. I have no intention of doing that, and I can say definitively that's not going to happen. I may reduce content for a while in early 2023. I'm not sure. We're just going to see how it goes. But as I mentioned, I am going to take the rest of this year off from the Tasty Tuesdays. There'll be another live stream or two that'll pop up, as well as that best of 2022 whiskeys. And Patreon supporters, of course, you will get a little bit extra content as well. So that's the housekeeping state of the channel. I'm sure you all understand and can appreciate it. And again, I do just want to say thank you all for making these Tuesdays so awesome. It has been so much fun, and we'll see what's next. And hope to see you all around for that. All right. All of that said, I figured we would go out, so to speak, with a double whiskey tasting tonight. So I got 2 bottles. We're going to uncork. First tonight is the latest release from Heaven Hill's Larceny range. This is the Larceny Barrel Proof Batch C922. I have not bought one of these or had one of these in, I think, since the inaugural batch that they did back in the beginning of 2020. 2020. So I'm really eager to give this a try and see what has changed with this. I have lots to say about this, and I'm really forward to getting this in the glass right now, which is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to get this poured. After we do this one, though, I'm not going to make this a bourbon show. This is the last Tasty Tuesday stream. This ain't going to be all about bourbon. We got ourselves a really nice single malt Compass Box No Name 3. And if that packaging doesn't look enticing enough, the whiskey sure does. So we'll get into this one after we're done here with the Larceny. So got a fun show. Looking forward to tasting these both with y'all. Let me know in the chat. Have you had either of these, or do you got strong opinions one way or the other on Compass Box, the No Name range, Larceny, They're the barrel proof stuff. Would love to hear what you got to say. Also, just let me know if you got anything in the glass net. I hope you got something if you can. We are going to enjoy this Tasty Tuesday together. So get yourself something poured. All right. We got 17 folks in the chat. Let me just catch up here on everything going on here in the chat, and then we will get into the first whiskey tonight, which is going to be this Larceny. What up, Rob? Pittsburgh. How's it going, buddy? Nice to see you. Haven't had a break since the Reverend. Not really, man. I mean, to be completely honest, like, you know, when I first started the channel, obviously it was going to be a horror movie and whiskey thing, and I wasn't quite sure how I was going to do it. Hence the Rabbit in Red thing, which is an homage to the great movie Halloween. And then, you know, it evolved. I started doing the live streams and started doing live streams more frequently. Telex and I, through most of the pandemic, we were on here every Tuesday for a 3-hour show. I would do an hour here, and then Telex and I would do 2 hours. And, you know, he's stepped back a little bit and taken some time to, you know, do stuff with his family and other stuff, which I totally understand. And, you know, I've just been keeping this going because I love the Tasty Tuesday shows. It's been so fun. And I feel like it's become such a regular part of things. But, you know, to be quite frank, it gets a little tiring. You know, it's hard to constantly have something new to try, something to, you know, to make the time when especially around this time of year when other priorities come up. So yeah, I mean, it has been a long time, man. You know, with some exceptions, obviously, I think I've never taken a prolonged break. So I am looking forward to it a little bit, as much as I do love this. Oh man, that would be great. That would be great. Appreciate that. Thanks, man. Whiskey Nose is in the house. What's up, Marty? Cheers. Happy Tasty Tuesday. Oh man. I will tell you, I have been sipping again. This is that Glenmorangie Tale of the Forest I was telling you guys about from a couple weeks ago. It is really, really damn good. Nothing wrong with the break in a format. Yeah, man, I appreciate that. Thank you. I hate doing it. Like, part of me really hates it. I'm like, shit, man. You know, I hate disappointing people, but yeah, you know, I need some time to think about stuff, figure it all out, and see what we're gonna do next. So appreciate that, man. Holidays always busy. Sounds like good to yeah, for sure. Oh man, Daniel with the super chat, man, $20 super chat. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it, man. Very, very kind of you. Thank you. That means a lot. You know, actually, in full transparency, I do. And I've told her about this, and I was actually texting with her tonight. And she sent me a message that said, good luck with your last Tuesday whiskey show. And then she said, you know, I kind of told her, like, this is what I'm thinking. She says, whatever feels right for you. So it ain't pressure. She's cool. So I'm very thankful for that. Turning in from the Phoenix Light Rail. What's up, man? Cheers. What is the base for the No Name 3? Lafroig. That's what I think. Yeah, we're going to get into that in probably about, a little bit later in the show, and I'll definitely go through it. Man, Marty. Definitely, bro. Appreciate the super chat, man. Seriously, so cool. And y'all, if you haven't yet, you know, go check out Whiskey Nose channel. You're not going to want to miss it. He's doing great shows, and believe me, I'd love to jump on a live one of these days. No link. Oh, he's got the A122. There you go. Well, I hope so, mate. Meet the girls. Oh, Mike. Yeah, really, Mike. It was so cool. Mike and I got to meet up in Chicago and have a couple of drinks together a while back. That was so fun, man, and would love to again. Really appreciate the super chat, buddy. You guys are awesome, man. Yeah, possibly. You know, I do think, you know, Patreon supporters especially, I will probably be in your inbox being like, so what do you guys think? I don't know, what should we do? I mean, as I've always said, and I don't want to go too long before we get into this Larceny here, but as I've always said, like, I mean, I'm not in this to, you know, make a living. I'm not trying to, you know, be the biggest whiskey channel. Honestly, this has always been about fun. I feel like man, some of you folks, we've been having drinks and talking about whiskey together for years, and like, this is really kind of what I like. I really don't want it to become this huge thing, that, I mean, if this can get, time consuming, imagine when I see some of these people who are just like always on here, and like, it's a lot, man. There's a lot more behind it than sometimes you even realize. So it is what it is. My goal has always been to just hang out. And as I've always said, man, I learn probably more from y'all than you do from me. But I hope this has been a really great community and you guys have been enjoying it, and more things to come soon for sure. Cheers. I'm feeling that way too. For reals. Man, again, appreciate the super chats. Mike B, Whiskey Nose, Dana, man, you guys are too generous. It means a lot. All right, let's get into our first whiskey. So here we go. Okay, we're going to start things off here with the Larceny. Now, the reason I'm starting with this Larceny, it's barrel proof. It's just because I think the peat, I'm going to want to give the peat I don't want the peat to kind of ruin my palate here. So it's been a long time since we've done a bourbon, right? I know I just did that recent bourbon, the single barrel pick of, what was that? Angel's Envy a while for that Friday video that I did. Well, let me give you the tail of the tape on this one. So again, first of all, Larceny comes out of Heaven Hill. They're the same people that do the Elijah Craig barrel proofs. They started doing these 3 years ago. Larceny is their like wheated bourbon, basically. 20% wheat, 12% malted barley. The rest is corn. And so they've been doing 3 of these a year, just like the Elijah Craigs. So this is the most recent, C922. C is the C batch, ABC of the year. 9 is the month that it was bottled in, which is September. 22 of the year. So this one is coming in at 63.3% ABV, which I think is the highest ever for any of these. While there's not an age statement on it, it does say it is a small batch mingling of 6 to 8 year old bourbons. Okay. Nothing on here about chill filtration, but it is barrel proof straight from the barrel. So probably would assume that they didn't spend time chill filtering it. This is the bottle. I always liked Larceny's bottles. Now, a couple things about Larceny, and I'd love to hear what folks think about wheated bourbon in general. I'm not a big wheated bourbon fan. Now, does this qualify as a wheated bourbon? I would say yes. 20% of the mash bill. It's a high wheat bourbon for sure. And I think, look, the regular Larceny, which you can get anywhere for like $20, never been something I really liked all that much. It's fine. I'm not going to turn it down if somebody pours me a glass, but it's not something I go out and seek. The barrel proof, however, that got my attention. And as somebody who's not a real big fan of wheated bourbons, you got your Wellers and, to call it a bourbon, it can only be up to 49% wheat, right? I don't know how much Weller's mash bill is, but it's probably a little more than the 20% you're seeing here. You get your Wellers, you get your Maker's Mark, right? I mean, they're all bourbon, so they're at least 51% corn. I think there's maybe a couple other, you see a wheated bourbon here and there from, I think Woodford's got one, Barrel might, the blenders might have one. There's probably a few other out there. But Larceny was always like the affordable one you could get, kind of rivaling Maker's Mark at that $20 price point. This one, I got here at Binny's here in Chicago today for $55, which is probably cheaper. I think MSRP is $60 on these. So you'll find these anywhere from, I think, reasonably $60 to $80. Tough to say that it's worth it. I think the Elijah Craigs usually move up a little higher in price these days, but I prefer those. But again, I have not had one of these in 2 years. So this is the first one of these I bought since the A120, which I think I might have somewhere. So that's the tail of the tape here on Larceny Barrel Proof. Again, C922, 6 to 8 year old bourbon, 20. Now it doesn't tell you the mash bill on here. You got to look it up. 20% wheat, 12% barley, malted barley, and the rest is corn. 63.3% ABV. All right. Yeah, Old Fitz, really good one. Nice. I haven't seen those around really here at all, which is lame. Kira, good things on the wheat or Larceny if only would travel abroad. Wow. I mean, you can't get Larceny over like regular Larceny even over in the UK. That's a bummer. I would think if anything you could. Probably get Maker's Mark. Looking for the Maker's Mark cast strength. That would actually be a good one to compare to this too, is the cast strength Maker's Mark. B520 liked it. A lot of cinnamon notes, says Leo. Cool. I'm in, I have a Rocktown from Arkansas, James. Oh, okay, cool. Right on, right on. Okay. All right. So let's do this. It's bourbon. So that means that there's no fake color in it because that would be illegal. Look at the color of that. Pretty nice. Okay, so here we go. Larceny Barrel Proof C922 on the nose. Ooh. Bit spicy, a bit fragrant. I mean, I'll tell you right now, even off a couple noses here, that 63.3% ABV is not really showing itself. This is remarkably subdued. Bit of oak, cinnamon, caramel. And a slight, almost like sourdough bread note. Maybe cinnamon. Yeah. Cinnamon, sourdough bread, caramel, oak. That's really what you're getting on this. The nose is not really all that interesting. It's pretty much kind of what I expect. Okay. It smells rich, but nothing really all that interesting on the nose. Let's give it a taste. Happy Tasty Tuesday, y'all. Cheers. Whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, are you for real? This is really good. Man, I'm sorry. I'm a little bit stunned at this. I did not expect this. Let me get another sip. Damn. Okay. Here we go. Okay. We just got to take a second here and just this is way better than I expected. I'm honestly just on those sips alone. This is leaps and bounds better than the last one I had, and I this is not even. Damn, man. Okay. Wow. This is so chewy and viscous and oily. It is way above any Larceny barrel proof I've ever had. This finish is still going. Okay, let me try and I'm stunned. Are you serious? I gotta do one more neat sip before I lay it all out here. I mean, the nose is like, it's nice. It's a nice nose. It's a nose that you would expect off of this cinnamon. It's almost like cinnamon sugar. Again, like a bit of oak. This like slight sourdough bread note. And kind of caramel vanilla, but nothing, really all that amazing. But the palate on this. Wow. I have not had all the batches of this, but I might have been missing out, or this one is just special. This is really fantastic. Let me lay this out. Oh, fuck. It arrives heavy, above average viscosity, sweet caramel, just loads of caramel. There's a bit of heat, red hot cinnamon spice candy, and then like cinnamon toast crunch, French toast, maple syrup drenched French toast type thing. Just going all the way through this. Incredibly mouth coating. This is Booker's level mouthfeel. The heat is there on the first sip, but it has tamed considerably. It doesn't taste young. It's much more rounded off than I recall the last one I had. There's a little bit of hints of stone fruit, a little bit going on here and there, a little bit of apple cinnamon. But this is a just chewy caramel, sweet, just freaking bomb of a whiskey. This finish is still going. The finish is long. It's not even dark chocolate. The oakiness that I was picking up off the nose is glazed over with like slightly maple, slightly much more kind of cinnamon stick, hint of clove maybe. A lot of just, I'm not even picking up that much vanilla. It's like more caramel or light brown sugar. The mouthfeel on this is fucking crazy. I can't believe this, really. I gotta do another neat sip. Come on. It pushes you just up to the edge with that 63.3%. And I'm telling you, after the first sip, it's so rounded off you can sip this neat. It's got some heat. It's not, it's a bold whiskey. It's barrel proof. But all the way through this rich caramel, there's this toffee note. There's this, again, kind of a chocolate espresso, more chocolate. This is really good. Now, let me put some water. Damn, I'm not even sure. I don't know if somebody who's been drinking Larceny barrel proofs that have had this. Have they all been like this? I just never bought it because I was like, it's Larceny barrel proof and whatever. I wasn't all that excited about it. I don't love wheated bourbon. I will say that this is a bit less interesting than an Elijah Craig barrel proof just because it doesn't have the rye in it. I find the rye brings a level of complexity, but I just put like 3 or 4 drops of water on this. Sandalwood or cinnamon sugar toast. Like wheat toast with cinnamon sugar. 50. I don't know what Benny's was thinking selling this for $55, but this is absolutely killer bourbon for $55. I'm going to go buy another bottle of this. There's no doubt about it. Oh, man. The water brings that heat down. Doesn't dry it out. I'm getting another swell here on the finish of just loads of sweet confectionery, almost chocolate, all with the backdrop of like a somewhat oaky mouthfeel. It's dry, but it's not overly dry. There's a nice berry fruit. This is conventional in its presentation, but what it takes the 5 or 6 real strong notes of wheated bourbon and are just nails it. This would rival, I think, some of the Elijah Craig's, but for me personally, I tend to like their style more because there's rye in it. It's got more complexity. This has about as much complexity as you are going to find in a barrel-proof wheated bourbon, in my opinion. And this one it's killing it. This is for what it is at $55. This is a 4.5, and I'm not embellishing this at all. 4.5 out of 5 at the $55 price point, or at the $60 MSRP. We'll put it at 60. That's the MSRP, $60. I would buy 2 or 3 of these. It's that good. When we get up into the $80 range, this is probably drop into more like 4, but this is still a stunningly good whiskey. I feel kind of stupid that I didn't chase. I mean, over the years, I've seen Elijah Craig barrel or Larceny barrel proofs around, and I was like, $75. Like, I don't want that. It's wheated bourbon, whatever. Man, this is really, really good. Really, really good. I'm very happy with it. Yeah. Okay. Wow. I haven't bought an Elijah Craig barrel proof. I haven't reviewed one this year. I don't think I've bought one. I kind of just stopped chasing them. Now I'm wondering if I need to chase Larceny barrel proof. I still don't. It doesn't have quite the full experience that you get out of the Elijah Craig. And I think that's because the rye is gone, as I mentioned. But boy, if you like wheated bourbons, man, I would love to see this go up blind against some of the more popular ones, because I think you'd be hard pressed. I don't know how anything can really rise above this until you get into hyper premium stuff. William LaRue Wellers or something. Fitz's. This is, for the price, this is killer. Oh, damn. This is a 4.5 whiskey, man. 93 out of 100 or whatever. That's the prelim score. I will definitely do a review of this. And you know what? I think I might do a review comparison to the other one because I still have it. Maybe that'll be one of the videos I pop off first in 2023. Just to mark the evolution, because I'm telling you, I personally just don't have really the benchmarks of how this whiskey has been going for the last couple of years, because frankly, I bought one. I thought it was fine. I've never bought any more. And I grabbed this just randomly today. I was going to grab beer and it was there. And I was like, $55 for a barrel proof of Larceny? Sure. I'll try that. And boy, I'm pleasantly surprised. It isn't the most complex bourbon in the world. Could have a little bit longer of a development, but the finish just rides and rides. I will gladly go to bat for this at a 4.5 is my prelim score. It's that good. So Larceny C922. This is, if you are into the wheated bourbon, this is something you need to have. Boy, oh boy. Wow. Didn't see that coming. All right. Let me catch up on the chat. As I mentioned, folks who are just joining, I know you see that there's it's the last Tasty Tuesday. Watch the replay and check out the beginning where I kind of explain through all this. To be honest, I prefer Maker's Mark cast strength. I like the Maker's Mark cast strength. That was pretty good. Tried the new Willet weeded the other day. Not bad. I can't believe 250. Fuck. I never really liked that Willet bourbon. They have it in the pot still bottle. I'm sure you guys have all seen that. Right. Well, so that's interesting. So I think Larceny's never been a 12-year. So Elijah Craig, when it first came on the market, was a 12-year, and then they went to the small batch because I think they blew through too much of the 12. So I think that, so this one, yeah, like I said, it's only 6 to 8, which is, in part why it's probably a little bit cheaper. And I don't know. I kind of agree with you, but a 12-year would be great. It would be fun to try at least. Journeyman has been rocking a cask strength wheat whiskey. Well, I've not had any of their stuff. Yeah, Larceny 2020 ECVP is sitting in the back seat this year compared to Larceny. Damn. Okay. That's good to know. I might have to try some more of these. Dude, the palate on this is stupid. Yeah, I would. I think if you like wheated bourbon, and I think this is the key point. Personally, for me, it is not something that I gravitate towards. I personally am just, it's just not all that interesting to me at times. That said, there are exceptions to every rule, always. And I'll tell you, this one, at the price, I would, if I knew how good this was, I would pay $75 for it. It's that good. I really do think so. Oh, really? Does anybody ship there? We should connect over email. I might know some places that might ship to you there. Oh, listen, boys. I like Larceny. That Larceny beer doesn't taste very weedery or weeder. Yeah, it has some spice. Yeah, totally. Colin, you nailed it. Exactly. And I think like that's part of it. Now, you can definitely tell the difference here with this and like an Elijah Craig, as I was saying, because no rye. But I mean, this doesn't taste as weedy as like a what is that one that everybody loves that I don't understand? It's a Special Reserve Weller. I think this is much more interesting, right? I mean, it at least has some character, some spice character. Minnick. Fred Minnick said it was a caramel bomb. Would you agree? Yes, I would agree. The Muser has a palate like the Prost. I don't know about that, but yeah, I mean, or there might be some places that ship. I just don't know. Great, me one too. Oh, Rob, man, thanks so much for it, bro. Appreciate you, Rob. Man, that's so kind of you. It means a lot. It really does. And all these super chats will go directly towards the channel. So I give you my word on that. Really appreciate the support, man, and always love having you here. Thanks a lot, man. It means a lot. I'm not disagreeing, man. I have a feeling. Yeah, dude. I don't know what Fred Minnick said about it, but he said caramel bomb. He's right, and this is. Yeah, I'm surprised by this. I really am. Peter White. I have an A120. It took 2 years to get to me. With all the mad reviews, I never opened it. Yeah, I have one of those, man, and I think I'll probably do a video of it with this one. Yeah, dude. God, dude, I don't know how it goes, man. None of these stores probably ship to the UK. It sucks. All right, where are we at? I do like OWA and WEU Rebel Yell too. Oh, Rebel Yell. Okay. I'll have to keep an eye out and see if I can find that A batch. This is really impressive, man. I'm surprised. Yeah, I agree, man. I didn't even really find that their 12-year-old was all that interesting. The antique one I thought was better. But Wellers, I mean, people, the way they overpay for that. Maybe this is it. And like, I'm not begrudging anybody that likes weed and bourbon, and I'm definitely not saying that I don't like it because I'm sophisticated. That's not the case at all. It's just personal preference. But I do think that a lot of the bourbon craze is people who are getting into the bourbon for the first time, and a really good way to get into bourbon is wheated bourbon. It's not very offensive on the palate. It's not very challenging. Offensive is not the right word. It's not very intense on the palate compared to like something with a lot of rye in it, like a Four Roses or something. It doesn't have a lot of the same amount of spice, right? So I get it. It's a good way to get in. The weird thing is that like people are obsessed with it, so much so. Like Old Elk, even. I remember I have a cast strength Old Elk, which is heavily wheated, and it's like you go buy them now, they're like double the price. What? You know, some people just want to have a bourbon they can drink on. All power to them, and they're not interested in exploring it. I think people here, for the most part, we're kind of interested in exploring whiskeys and expect more out of them. And so maybe, we don't gravitate towards those as much. Now, of course, like a BTAC Weller or whatever. Yeah, of course. But look, I mean, Pappy Van Winkle, This one, however, this really hits the mark, man. I mean, I think this is one of the better ones I've ever had. And again, the Larceny stuff I've not had a bunch of, but boy, this has changed my mind. This is really impressive. I'll sit by that 4.5 for sure. Yeah, totally. ECBP is too spicy compared to Larceny as a dry finish, although still very good. I'm nitpicking. Yeah, I've not had any of the ECBPs from this year. I mean, that was like one of my things when I started the channel. I was like, I'm going to find every ECBP because I lived across. So when I started the channel, I was in Washington, D.C., and I lived really close to the Potomac, which means I was really close to the bridge that gets you over to Virginia. Virginia is all government stores. So everything's sold at MSRP. So when the Elijah Craig barrel proofs would drop, they were all like $50. So I would just like kind of go over there, check it out, time it. And they would be there, and I would always get them so I could pop reviews out, not so much here in Chicago. MC's here, still having tech issues, but take care of the holidays, etc. Yeah, back at you. Thank you. Appreciate that. For sure. Yeah, I'm telling you, for what it is and the price, this Larceny Barrel Proof C922 is an absolute killer. I wish I could pour another pour of it, but we got to move on. And what we're going to move on to, something completely different. Compass Box, limited edition, No Name 3. Compass Box is a blend, as you all know. It has a nice wax top on it. And Compass Box, they're blenders and all of this jazz. Let me take a look here and see what this is all made of. Okay, let's start with the box. So No Name is a series. There were 3 of them. Our sequence with No Name number 3, our sequence exploring Scotch whiskey's smoky spectrum comes to a fitting conclusion. Fans of the first No Name recognize a strumming tarry intensity with fruity fragrance behind it. Number 2, tropical, seaweedy, and barbecue, single malt. So for this one, Lafroig Distillery takes the top billing with malt from the Bowmore, lending compelling hints of mango. We feel that the peatiness of No Name 3 has an operatic quality to it. Okay, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so this is the third one and the final of their like exploration of blending peated whiskeys. On the bottle, and I do love Compass Box. One thing I love from Compass Box is this exact thing, is that they give you these huge breakdowns. A lot of the time of what's in it. This is the tail of the tape here, 48.9%. I'm liking that. Here we go. Lafroig Distillery Recharred Hogshead, 74.7%. Bowmore Refill Bourbon Barrel, 11.3. Mortlock Recharred Barrel, 7.5. Kleinleash Refilled Sherry, 6%. And then Highland Malt Blend, custom French oak cask with high toasting 0.5. This is bottled with no chill filtration and at a natural color of 48.9% ABV. No age statement, as is the case with Compass Box. So that's the tail of the tape. This is a peat bomb with Lafroig and Beaumont, and then a little bit of Mortlock and some Kleinleach and a Highland blend, probably Highland Park. Maybe not. Who knows? Bringing a little bit of extra to it. So bottle of this goes for, well, it came out in late 2021, so I think might not be the easiest thing to find, but it is around I think $130, $140, give or take. So there it is. Natural color, non-chill. It says it on the bottle. Gotta love that. Let's check out the nose. Let me know if anybody had this one or anybody had any of the other no names. Admittedly, I've only had a sample of no name 1. I did not have no name 2. No name 1 was great. Here we go on the nose. Oh yeah. Okay. Dry peat. Very maritime. Cheers, Emily, indeed. Interesting. Fresh, fruity, and peaty. That's really what you're going to hear. There's a very maritime quality to this. It's clean. It's sharp. It's I don't want to say seaweed. It's more like I hate these tasting notes. Sea breeze. It smells like you're sitting by the ocean. Okay, like you're sniffing a seashell kind of thing. It's not like you know what I'm saying. There's a bunch of that going on here. The peat is crisp. It is resinous. There are tropical fruit and berry fruit notes. It's almost like a mosaic hopped beer. You get these like nice berry fruit notes, hinting on the tropical side, as they say. Yes. The nose, all in all, pretty light and intense. Fresh. Very nice. There's a bit of a floral quality to it as well. So that's basically what you're looking at. Sweet fruit, kind of maritime peat, fresh, but it has a little bit of a density to it. So there's a lot going on here. I like the nose quite a bit. Here we go. Compass Box, no name number 3. Oh, wow. Hey, we might be 2 for 2 tonight. So here's the immediate thing I'm noticing here. It's a little bit coy and shy when it initially hits the palate. Kind of light, it's like sweet, but as it develops, boy, you really start getting that dense peat. Not a hint of real like oaky barrels drying. It's much more spice dry. Sweet tropical fruits coming through this. Like your, I don't know, a little bit of pineapple, a little bit of mango. There's definitely regular orchard fruits as well. Apple. It's well married. There's not real big gaps in it. It really kind of gets more and more interesting and intense as it goes along. Finishes around medium to medium long. Hints of dark cocoa. Or sip here. Boy. So it says it's Lafroig and Beaumont, but mostly Lafroig. And I'll say off the, if you put this in front of me without me reading that that's what it was, I don't know that I would have necessarily picked up its Lafroig. You do have a bit of that medicinal note, kind of like the hospital dentist office thing. But there's a lot of other things going on here. This is a nice, complex. The Klein leash, and I know it's small amounts, but I think it's really bolstering the body of this, bringing a little bit more of that kind of heft to the forefront. Let's try it again. Oh yeah. So a lot of Lafroig, it doesn't drink like a Lafroig. There's, in fact, it drinks like a much more complex whiskey than most Lafroigs that you get, and it's not quite as intense as like a cask strength. Boy, this is really good. I really like the interplay of like these lighter tropical fruits, sugary, like kind of sugary sweet fruits with this increasingly profound dark chocolate note coming through with the peat. It's really like it's all working together. If you're a fan of peated whiskey generally, and you know, even if you're not a Lafroig person, I don't think you need to be to enjoy this. This is quite good. Let me just see what the price is on this. Man, oh, okay. Finish. Andy's Candies Mint Chocolate. There's a profound mint chocolate thing that I didn't quite pick it up the first time, but it is dominating the palate or the finish here. A little bit of fruit in the back. It's really inviting, makes you want more. It's clean. It's strong. I like it. Compass box, no name 3. Let's just see what $150, maybe a little bit less. Yeah, it's not a trivial amount. You can get lowest I'm seeing on Whiskey Base is 117 pounds, $135, maybe that is. I'm into it. I think this is really good. The price is going to be a reach in some cases, but let's just put a couple drops of water here and see what happens. The real question always is the age, right? On a blend like this, and will we see this cohesive unit fall apart here with water? Yeah, nose is about the same so far, getting a little more lemon lime. Wow. Complex. It's an interesting interplay of like an intense whiskey with a lot of subtlety that seems to have a lot of room to show itself. It's really kind of quite interesting in that way. Like it's got a lot happening in it, but the peat is not taking over despite it being, what did I say, 74.7% Lafroig. Doesn't lose anything with the water. In fact, it's bringing out more of that chocolate note. Again, it's oak is where that's coming from, but it's so rich that it's not leaving you with this kind of tannic, dry palate. It's not fresh cut wood. It's definitely charred. That's the flavor. Tropical fruits bouncing around, a little bit of berry, apple cinnamon. There's it's like elegant, but also bold and assertive, and I'm really quite impressed. Vanilla. There's like a nice creaminess of vanilla coming through. Okay, yeah, I'm in on this one. I mean, I think this is a 4 out of 5 whiskey easily. The price is a little bit heavy, but I think the quality is there. I really do. I think the quality is there. And this is right in that 4 to even go a little bit higher. I really love how the complexity of this whiskey is able to have space on the stage while dealing with something that's so peat dominant. I mean, it's not drowning anything out. They did a masterclass job with this. I have heard, mixed reviews of the No Name 2. I think, this one definitely seems like it's righted whatever wrong was done there. It is very bourbon cask forward, but yeah, I'm a fan. I mean, I'll sit at 4 or 5 on this. Definitely. If you like a peated whiskey, even if you're like, again, not a huge Lefroy fan, I really think you could enjoy this because of just how much is happening in it. What did you think of the whiskey? Hey, Andrew Page is here. What's up in Jersey? Just poured on through one of my favorites from last year. Just picked up another bottle. That's awesome, man. It was popular over there. It's awesome in the UK. Master the craft. I would agree with you. Is that what it is? It would make sense. I mean, it doesn't taste young. I love how the C's part for the tropical fruit notes. Yeah, dude, exactly. I like it. It really does create space, and everything is kind of shining on its own, but yet it's still somewhat, cohesive. It's really impressive. I didn't quite expect, it to be that good. Good point. What does the original No Name go for? Man, if I had even seen one, I would let you know, but I don't think I've seen. I'm sure they're probably on secondary market well above $200 some. I think out the door I paid $140-ish for the No Name 3. Oh, so Chris, you got your hands on this too. Cool. Yeah, I mean, part of it is the marketing, right? Like you think about the Scotland and the kilns and all that, but if you go straight from flavor, I mean, it's robust and it brings, kind of kicks up your body heat a bit too, which is super helpful. Alpha Crown 150 for No Name 3 as 15-year-old Lefroy. It's a good deal. Yeah, I'm with you on that. Cohen says a lot of new Compass Box releases this year that nobody is reviewing or seem to care about, like Circle 2, Canvas, and Flaming Heart, and a couple others. Yeah, I'll be honest, I don't see them a lot here. They would definitely be things I'd have to hunt for. The Circle one was intriguing to me. The Canvas was, I did see the Canvas, but it was like $150, and I wasn't quite sure what to think about that. Have you had any? Man, if this is how the 90s style Lefroy was, my God. It was that good. Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to sit at a, in that 4 or 5 range all day on this. And honestly, this is going to need its own review as well. I'm going to pour. You know what? Actually, since we've had the peat, we're hitting that hour mark. I do want to pour something pretty special, I think, just to cap off the Tasty Tuesday show. But what is it going to be? After the peat, I'm thinking I need a sherry bomb or another peat bomb. I don't know. Yeah, you know what? I know what we're gonna do. We'll do this. Ardbeg Dark Cove, not the committee release, unfortunately. This is the regular release, bottled at 46.5% ABV, dark sherry casks, etc., etc. this is the way to do it. I have had the Ardbeg Dark Cove Committee release. I will say it is fantastic. I have a few bottles of this. These are the only ones I was able to get my hands on ever, and I'm glad I did. I really hope they bring back this. So basically, the Ardbeg Dark Cove is a non-age statement, as you would expect. Take this whiskey and hide it well. For its heart has been matured in dark sherry casks, imparting waves of treacle toffee, coal tar, and squid ink. These guys. Oh, man. Squig ink noodles and toasted coffee grounds. The darkest Ardbeg ever. 46.5% ABV. Its collar is that of copper stills in the moonlight. Man, Ardbeg rivals Highland Park with their advertising. But anyways, has anybody ever had the Dark Cove? I think it's really good. I was a huge fan of this. I have never been able to find and or pay the money for a committee release bottling, because here's the problem, right? It's like if you get one, that's great, but you really want to. I luckily have, I think, 2 or 3 bottles of this. It is definitely, even this one, while most of their special releases, this is from 2016, most of their special releases, the limited releases that they do are pretty much crap. I think this might be one of the last really good ones, but this reminds me just how much I loved Ardbeg when I first had the Ugadal. I think this one rivals Ugadal. Oh, that's nice. I'm going to let this sit for just a second. We got 17 folks in. Great to see you all here on the last Tasty Tuesday of 2022. It's been awesome to hang out. I do want to just give shout outs to Rob MC, to Mike B, to Whiskey Nose, and to Daniel H for the super chats earlier. Again, man, I really appreciate that. It's an awesome send off for the rest of the year, brothers, I should say. I really appreciate you guys for that. I am going to run and get a little bit more water here, and then we'll get into the Dark Cove. Be right back, friends. All right. Oh, I should show you this too, right? This is the box that the limited release Dark Cove came in. I kind of like the box. Let me see if it said anything interesting on here. I mean, they got a whole story on here, right? Blah, 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 blah. Smuggling, etc. This was the 2016 committee release, and then therefore the 2016 limited release. Okay. Anybody had this before? No. Dark Cove. Check it out. Oh, you saw the Hypernova. Ooh, 200. I would have probably bet for 200, but yeah, it's supposed to be like their peatiest ever. I think as I've seen with the Octomores, I personally don't always find that the quote unquote most ppm parts per million of peat equates like the heaviest, smokiest whiskey ever. I mean, I have some Lefroy 10 cat strengths that I think rival Octomores for sure. Yeah, dude, they should. I mean, I'll tell you this. They're probably they're going to be bold and continue going forward. But I they might as well. My Binny's liquor store near me has an entire row of Ardbeg Ardcore, the limited release for $130. I haven't seen one removed from that shelf in months. It's always a full shelf. So I'm thinking maybe people are like finally gonna be like, look, you guys have been pushing it too far with these crappy limited releases, and it's way too expensive. I shouldn't say crappy, these less than stellar limited releases that are overly priced. So maybe that's the way they go. Maybe they just go with like a C, like some type of what was the Greek mythology god of the ocean? Poseidon. The Ardbeg Poseidon. It's made with squid ink. Why not, right? You got an Oogie. Oh, yeah, that's right. You were telling me about this. I'm glad to hear that. As long as the Oogie and the 10 and the Corey Brecken stay in shape, their court range will always be fantastic. That's great to hear. I picked up a 2003 Oogie Dot auction recently for what Hypernova goes for. I'm pretty sure it was, man, 2003. That's going to be good. Ardbeg said Octomor's marketing BS, and now they're selling. Yeah, there you go. Hypernova is getting good reviews from people who are saying it's the best limited edition menu. I hope so. I mean, the Supernovas were good. I have one of them. I don't know which one that is. 2000, a couple years ago. Working on this third bottle of Oogie. Yeah, fucking Oogie. Oogie was one of those whiskeys that blew my mind when I first had it. So the Dark Cove, in contrast, there's a lot of richness to this, despite its 46.5. A lot of sherry, dry sherry notes, like Christmas spices. A bunch of it going on here. That classic Ardbeg kind of fresh, tarry peat, more fresh than heavy, rich, but it's a really nice nose. It's quintessentially Ardbeg. It has that kind of seaweed quality to it. The nose reminds me of like a sherry 10. The sherry just explodes out of the glass. Not as rich or as enticing as the Ugadal, but it's there. Here we go. So sweet. So much sherry. Oh. The sherry notes, this whiskey is sweet. Sweet red fruit. A ton of it. With this kind of earthy, sooty Ardbeg backbone. And it just goes the entire way, and then you get this nice swell of kind of caramel, rich fruit, almost molasses level, like dark notes. Medium finish, medium long, coal ash. No, like, what the fuck does coal ash taste like? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's got that kind of ashy, I don't know, like a dark, like a heavy cigar. The fruit is sweet. It is strawberry. It is raspberry, vibrant, contrasting with the dark, peaty sootiness. It's really, really fucking good. These are super scarce these days, I know, and I don't think these are worth overpaying for in secondary market. I mean, like right now, you'd be lucky to find one of these for $200. I just don't think it's worth it. It is a good Ardbeg. It's a unique Ardbeg, and it's probably one of the better things that they've ever done. But I don't think this one if the choice was a $200 limited release or a $300 committee release, if that's the option, I think I would splurge for the committee just because I think you want that cast strength. But as it stands, this one still kills it. This is better than any of the other limited editions I've had. So 2017 was the Kelpie, which was that like the Black Sea casks or whatever. That was solid. 18 was Grooves. Committee release was good. The limited, not so much. 19 was Drum. I think both were pretty bad. 2020 was the Black, which was the Pinot Noir. The committee release was really good. I think the limited editions had no finish. It was really embarrassing in my opinion. 2021 was the Scorch. Both were, it was all right. And then 2022 was the Hardcore. I haven't had either. Well, no, somebody sent me a sample of one of them, but I haven't bought either, and I won't. I'm kind of done. I wasn't going to buy the Scorch, but I got a good deal on it. So, I mean, these are, I think the Kelpie and the Grooves are all pretty good. If you find a good committee release of the Black, I think the Black was a solid whiskey for sure. But the limited edition was real disappointing. I would avoid the drum altogether. And I would avoid the Grooves, by the way, was a red wine cask, I think. Yeah. And the Scorch, you know what? Is this the committee? Yeah, that's the committee. Oh, I do have the limited one also. I also have a 1991 single cask Ardbeg McCallop's Choice back here. We should open that one of these days. 1990, yeah, it's like a 10-year. I gotta do that. Let's do a little comparison. Now remember, these are fiercely dragon charred casks, 46%, blah 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 blah. I mean, even the like labels, come on. I mean, the Dark Cove looks awesome. This one looks like cheap. Let's do a little comparison. Now, I know these are apples and oranges whiskeys, but whatever. They're still Ardbeg. There's the Scorch. There's the Dark Cove. You can see the richer difference here. Let's check out this Scorch. Scorch limited edition. This isn't even the committee. Vanilla. A ton of vanilla. Like powdered sugar and vanilla. It smells like a pastry. The peat's there, but not nearly as dominant. This is much more sweet. Thinner mouthfeel. Younger whiskey, you can taste it. It's got that kind of concrete note. Finish is great, though. You get a really nice hit of rich kind of oak, vanilla, caramel, toffee, chocolate. Peat. It doesn't hold a candle to the palate. I think is what suffers the most on the Scorch. It's just kind of boring, and then it's not till the finish that you really get anything. And it's not even that strong. It's a little bit more languid. The Dark Cove is just an exponentially better whiskey. I'm not surprised by this. So the committee release wasn't bad, but again, the problem with the committee releases is that they're non-age statement whiskeys, and you're paying. I mean, what are like $150 or something like that is what they wanted for the Hardcore. Man, there's like an interesting tropical fruit note in this. Anyways, has anybody had the Scorch? I'd love to hear what people thought. Maybe I'm in the minority. I did do a video comparing this and the committee release version of the Scorch. I think I totally stand by it. According to Dr. Bill, the Scorch is refilled after Alligator was bottled, so it's at least 9 years. What's up, Silverlock? How you doing? Good to see you, man. Interesting information there, Alpha Crown. I'd love to hear where you picked that up, just out of curiosity. Dr. Bill, by the way, is the same whiskey designer that does Glenmorangie. Also does Ardbeg, if you didn't know that. See, well, the finish of the Scorch is quite nice. It's not that much better than like a Talisker Darkstorm. And the problem is that like you can really taste the youth in this whiskey. It just drinks so much younger than the Dark Cove does. So much younger. And these were going for like $120, $130. It's just not. I mean, look, I have like half a bottle of this. I've had this bottle for almost 2 years now. It's like, or at least a year and a half. And that's what it says. I don't mess with Ardbeg that much anymore, other than their core range stuff. And I don't really care for the Anno or the WBC, but they're the big three. Corey Vrecken, Ugadal, and the 10 are still like probably some of my favorite whiskeys ever. And while I know that there's been some concern that they've been kind of losing that a little bit on the 10 of late, there was a bad batch, but this has happened before. As long as they're keeping their 10 and the Ugadal and the Corey Vrecken intact as competent to above average whiskeys, you know, I'll still throw some money at Ardbeg for those. But the special release stuff, I'm just not as much into anymore. Just because I think it's outrageously priced. Especially for what you get. And, you know, we got to be, with so many options that we all have here, like as whiskey consumers, single malt consumers, Scotch single malt consumers even, we just don't need to continue to throw our money down blindly at some of these, you know? Like we have more options. And as you learn more about what your options are and your palate expands, I mean, single malt offers an endless opportunity of exploration. It really does. You know, for example, tonight here, I mean, you know, 3 or 4 years ago, 5, 6 years ago, you would have caught me being, you know, oh yeah, $150 for an Ardbeg, sure, for a non-age statement. Now you have something like this, right? Like a Compass Box No Name 3, which is just exponentially better. We're on the same price, giving you a lot more bang for your buck. Part of the thing is like the gimmicks wear off, you know, and I don't fault them per se for doing a special release every year. I think it's kind of cool that a whiskey distillery does this, but when it gets to the point where the price is so, like, I'm fine with paying a little premium, right? And I think probably all of us are. If Ardbeg was putting out their committee release or the limited edition release of their like annual non-age statement kind of thing for a like reasonable price, maybe $10, $15 more than you would normally pay, you know, I'd be like, all right, you know, I know I'm not going to get quite what I expect. But when it's like $60, $70 more, like, they're not selling this to people who appreciate whiskey anymore, right? They're selling it to people who buy gimmicky stuff. And to me, that's a little unfortunate. I think there's an equilibrium. Lagavulin is walking that equilibrium right now with the Offerman stuff. But you know what Lagavulin's doing with that? They're putting an age statement on it. All 3 of them have been good. The price is favorable considering what it is. I don't think anybody's complaining too much about the prices of those, right? But Ardbeg, like I said, there's a Binny's down the street from me. There's an entire row of Ardbeg Ardcore there, limited editions. 3 years ago, you would never see that. And they're all just sitting there, $130 a piece. I paid $100. I remember paying $115 for a Grooves committee release, right? And like they're just sitting there. There's a whole row just sitting there. Every time I walk in there, and I go in there almost weekly because I go there to get latest fresh beers from some good Chicago breweries. They're just sitting there. I don't know. Maybe it turns around. Maybe it doesn't. I would be okay with overspending a little bit on something unique and different each year from distilleries that I love. If the price maintained a reasonable, was reasonable or a little bit above reasonable. Not as much as $130 for a non-age statement Ardbeg Hardcore. Fuck you. No offense. I can spend $50 less and get an Oogie, right? So, they're not marketing it to us. They're trying to sell, and I think the quality has shown that it is what it is. And these committee releases are just so damn much. I'm not going to spend $100. I saw an Ardbeg Hardcore committee release. It was $165. I was like, fuck that. I'm just not doing it. Not doing it. I did $130 on the Scorch. I regretted it. But I'm done. Dark Cove, I gladly paid $130 for one of these right now, considering seeing with the way things have gone. I wish they would bring this one back. But it is what it is, and we got options. And, I'm preaching to the choir a little bit here. But I'm not going to be one of these people that just hates on Ardbeg explicitly just because they're so popular. They still make good whiskey. They still put out a 46% non-chill filtered, naturally colored 10-year-old. They don't chill filter the Ugadal or the Corey Vrecken. I mean, can't say that about Lafroig. Can you? I still love Lafroig. And Lafroig, at least, the Carchus line, I think, has been good. When was the last time there was a bad Carchus? I think the last one that I didn't love, and this is totally just personal taste, the 2020 Port Red Wine one was a little bit But outside that, has anybody really been disappointed with one in the last 5-6 years? I mean, Warehouse one was good. The PX cast strength was good. Port Red Wine, Triple Wood cast strength, solid. Fino was really good. Quarter cast strength was really good. Maybe the Madeira, I don't know. I mean, they're at least doing that right. So, I don't know. We'll see where it all goes, y'all. And speaking of seeing where things go, like as I mentioned earlier in the show, we'll have probably another live or two. I know. Winston is, it is the last Tasty Tuesday. We should probably bring him in here, right? At least to say hi. Let me find that bastard. Oh, he was sleeping. See what he thinks about the Dark Cove. He hates it. He's such a picky bastard. All right, y'all. But yeah, as I mentioned, I will have another live or two coming up, and keep an eye out in the next week or two for the best of 2022 review. Again, really appreciate everybody's support, and thank you again to the folks for the super chats tonight. It meant a lot, man, and it means a lot. And we'll see what the future of Tasty Tuesday holds. But like I said, this is not the end of the channel. I'm going to have another live or two this year, and we'll definitely be back in 2023 to share what I've come up with and see where things go. So, on behalf of Eric, your humble malt muser, and of course Winston, the perpetually tired troublemaking whiskey cat, I want to bid you all, if you don't catch the rest of them, it's the lives that I do this year, a really, really great holiday if you're here in the United States. And to our folks around the world, just want to share my mad love. I appreciate you all. I'm going to sunset here with this bottle of Dark Cove. And yeah, I appreciate you all, man. Thank you guys so much. It's lunch.